Good day, everyone. I hope you all had a terrific Tuesday. You don't know this, but yesterday's vlog I accidentally said Tuesday when I started filming, so I deleted that clip. I wish I actually should have kept it in, but I took it out. Oops. And I started over. But today is Tuesday, and this Tuesday was terrific. I would say so, yeah. I was off. I was able to go get a haircut finally. Something I've been meaning to do, and I think it did a pretty good job. Did about what I was asking for, which was nice and short on the sides and back, because that's what grows. This is getting thinner and thinner, so it needed to be touched up a little, but for the most part, it doesn't grow that fast anymore. So, didn't want too much done there. But I wanted it nice and short, so I wouldn't have to go as frequently, and I think they did a pretty good job of it. I like it. I didn't get a chance to trim my beard, though. Something I'm going to need to do, because tomorrow I work at 10 until 6 in a mid shift, which is my favorite kind of shift. But yeah, so I need to make sure I get this done tonight. Trim it all up. The stash is starting to bother my lip, so who knows. Get it nice and short, and the rest of this trimmed neatly, cleaned up along here and stuff like that. And then it'll be the whole package. The whole package being my face, the money maker, as some people say, but not me. I don't say that because I wouldn't say that, because the money maker is the me inside, and it doesn't make very much money. So, but I'm not too worried about that. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just rambling. So we had the drive, and it was a pretty good service. We had a guest speaker. But it wasn't just like another pastor from the church or a pastor from somewhere else. It was one of the people from the drive. One of the guys. In fact, the first guy I met there. My first week of the drive, I went and I had the mindset of if I go and start connecting with guys, that's all I'm going to do is I'm going to connect with guys. That's what I do. It's more easy, more natural for me. So what I would do is I would try to connect with girls and go up and talk to them, and I knew the guys would come anyways along eventually, so I tried to make that effort because it would be an effort and my natural inclination would take over if I didn't. So I sat down at this table, and it was all girls at the table, and then they did the announcements, and the guy doing the announcements, after the announcements, wound up coming back and sitting there because his girlfriend was one of the people at the table. And so then afterwards, I started talking to him, and he pointed me to someone else. I had a conversation with him, and then someone else came over afterwards and joined that conversation, and that was a person I wound up interacting with quite a bit for the next several months. And then the other guy, we interact now talking about wrestling and stuff, because he's a fan of wrestling as well. Although he's a John Cena fan, so we give each other a hard time about that. Because I'm not a John Cena fan. Not at all. But I don't need to get into that, because I could talk at length about that, and I know most of you don't care. So tonight, the guest speaker was this guy. His name is Mark, and he talked about David and Goliath, but he went at it in a different way than most people do, and he said, before you leave here, you're never going to think of the story of David and Goliath the same way again. And I was like, I know that story pretty well. I doubt that's going to be true. And then it was like a turning point where he said something, and it's like, he's right. I didn't think of that. That's crazy. He's right. I'm not gonna be able to think of it the same way again. And so just things like David, and that was the idea of his whole message, was David was being prepared in his youth, watching the sheep, and something that I've always just thought of as it's something he had to do as a kid, and God protected him because he killed a lion and he killed a bear while watching the sheep, just the role he had in the family, and it was to give him humility and things like that. Was always the way I looked at it. But the way he presented it is like, and it made a lot of sense, is like he was being prepared in the hills. He was being prepared for that moment, for that I can take Goliath down in a more feasible way. I mean, yes, God had his hand in it, and because that's what you see in the story is God will protect us, God will make this happen. But really, David had a lot of practical, useful tools at his disposal. He went in great detail. I guess he studied up about the sling and what happens, and he brought up the song "The Lord's Army," and he even started singing it, and some of us started singing it with him because it's been a long time. And he was like emphasizing the point of the infantry, the cavalry, shooting the artillery, and all those different things that's in the song. And he was saying that Goliath is an infantry. Everyone else in the Philistine army was infantry. Everyone else in the Israeli army, the Israelites army, infantry. I mean, he had the artillery, so he brought a gun to a sword fight. Or Goliath came to a gunfight with a knife, is the way he said it, which was a little backwards. But it was just like he never had a chance. David wasn't the underdog that everyone makes him out to be. Goliath was the one that never had a chance because even though he was a giant, he wasn't prepared because David had God on his side, and that in of itself is enough. But David had the experience, the sling, and using it as a deadly weapon, and that's how he presented it. And I don't know if there was a little bit of spin to it or not, but he had the scripture there and was using it pretty solidly. And I'm just like, that's just a different way of thinking of it, and looking at it, and it's pretty cool the way he looked at it tonight. And so yeah, that was that. And then tonight was also the last night for one of my friends from the drive. One that I haven't been as close to recently, but when he first started coming, I went out, I had lunch with him a couple times, and we talked about all sorts of stuff. I was the one that invited him to join us with the Disney Day because it was right after his first week, and he didn't really know anyone, he said. So he showed up, and he started hanging around me and Heather because he met us that first week, and everyone else he met at Disney, and he created like and because his birthday was the next day, and we all sang happy birthday to him on the mine train, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train ride in the line, and all these other people sang too, and it was really cool. And he says he hates it when people sing to him. He doesn't mind being the center of attention normally, but when people are singing to him, especially happy birthday, he's uncomfortable, he says. And so we give him a hard time about it and randomly sing happy birthday to him whenever we're in a large group and we can get that group to do it. So we did it at his going away party last week. And we did it again tonight. We were about to leave, right before everyone started leaving Tijuana Flats. Someone yelled out, "Hey, it's Aaron's birthday, let's sing to him." And he was just like, it was funny though. And so we did, and he was once again uncomfortable, but it was a good send-off, I think. Yeah, it's cool that he was able to acknowledge to me that I was one of the first connections he made, and even though he's made a whole lot of connections since then, which is one of the reasons why we haven't been as close lately, is because he's had all sorts of ton of friends that he interacts with and does stuff with. That he did come back to me and acknowledge that and thank me for it. So that was pretty cool. Because I guess I do make a good first impression, but I don't make a solid continuing impression on some people just because of the way I am and the way they are. Just don't mesh well, I guess. But oh well, it is what it is. So he's gonna be gone. He's moving up to the same place that the last person left and went to. He's gonna be living in St. Louis. So good luck with that. I'm not saying that in a condescending way. I realized when I said that way it was, but honestly, good luck if you see this, which I don't know if you watch these or not, but good luck. And then we came home, and that's it. So I'm going to close out the vlog here because I just passed 10 minutes and I don't want to be taking too long, but I think I had enough to say that wasn't too much of whatever and stuff, and rambling again. Alright, I'm going to cut myself off right there. So tomorrow, like I said, I work, and that's about it. Good night, everyone, and I'll see you tomorrow.